The phone rang on a Thursday afternoon in October. I stared at the screen. Portland area code. A number I had not seen in 3 years. My hand hesitated over the answer button, then I pressed it. "Hello, it is Mom." Her voice sounded the same, but strained like she was forcing cheerfulness. "How are you, honey? We have not heard from you in so long." I sat there silent, memories flooding back to a night 14 years ago. I was 18, standing in our kitchen holding my college acceptance letter. My parents sat across from me and said the words that changed everything. "We need you at the cafe. College can wait." Before we dive into what happened next, I would love to know where you are watching from. Drop your location in the comments below. And if you have ever felt like your family put their needs before your dreams, hit that like button and subscribe, because this story is going to take you through exactly how I dealt with that. Let me take you back to where it all started, because understanding that night will help you understand why my answer to them was so simple. I grew up in Portland, Oregon. My parents, Daniel and Patricia Miller, owned a small cafe called Miller's Morning Brew. It was a family legacy passed down from my grandfather. The place smelled like roasted coffee beans and fresh pastries every morning. My younger sister Harper was 6 years younger than me. From the time I turned 12, I worked at that cafe. Cleaning tables, washing dishes, learning to pull espresso shots while my friends played video games after school. But I had a dream that went beyond steaming milk and taking orders. I loved math and computer science. My high school teacher, Mr. Anderson, saw something in me. He pulled me aside junior year and said, "Leaf, you have got real talent for this. You should study computer engineering." Those words planted a seed. I started imagining a different life. Working at a tech company in Seattle, building software, creating things that mattered. I studied hard. My GPA hit 3.9. I spent nights teaching myself basic coding while the cafe closed down around me. When March of my senior year rolled around, I applied to the University of Washington, computer engineering program. It was my top choice, my only choice really. I imagined 4 years of learning internships in my junior year, graduating with job offers from big tech companies. I had it all mapped out in my head, every detail, every step. And then the letter came. It arrived on a Tuesday afternoon. I was working the counter when the mail carrier dropped it off. I saw the University of Washington logo through the envelope window. My hands shook as I opened it. "We are pleased to inform you." Those words. I read them 3 times to make sure they were real. My heart hammered in my chest. I wanted to shout. I wanted to run around the cafe announcing it to every customer. But I held back. I decided to wait until evening, until we closed up and went home. I would tell my parents then. Make it special. The rest of that shift felt endless. Customers asked me why I was smiling so much. "What has got you so happy today, Leaf?" I just said, "Just a good day," and kept pouring coffee. But inside, I was soaring. This was it. My ticket out, my future. Everything I had worked for was finally happening. That night, after we locked the cafe doors at 9, I drove home. Harper was watching TV in the living room. My parents sat at the kitchen table going through the accounting books like they did every Tuesday night. Numbers and receipts spread across the surface. I stood in the doorway, the acceptance letter folded in my pocket. My heart thudded against my ribs. "Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something." Dad looked up. Mom kept her eyes on the ledger. I pulled out the letter, unfolding it carefully. I got accepted. University of Washington, computer engineering. The words came out steady, but my voice carried all the excitement I had been holding in all day. I waited for them to smile, to congratulate me, to be proud. Dad nodded once. "That is great, son." His tone was flat, completely flat, like I had just told him it might rain tomorrow. No excitement, no pride, nothing. Mom finally looked up from her paperwork. Her face showed no happiness, no celebration. Instead, her expression turned serious. "Leaf, honey, we need to talk about something." Dad closed the accounting book. He folded his arms across his chest. The air in the kitchen suddenly felt heavy thick. Something was wrong. I could feel it in my gut. But I tried to stay positive. I know tuition is expensive, but I applied for financial aid and scholarships too. I can work part-time. There are ways to make this work. Dad cut me off. It is not about the money, Leaf. Not exactly. Mom leaned forward. The cafe is struggling. Your father's back has been acting up. We cannot handle the morning rush without you. I stood there, the letter still in my hand, unable to process what I was hearing. But this is my future. This is what I have worked for. Years of studying. Years of planning. You are telling me to give it up. Dad's voice hardened. The cafe is your future. It is our family legacy. This place has been in our family for 2 generations. I tried to explain. Dad, I do not want to run a cafe. I want to be an engineer. I want to build things, create software, work in tech. His face reddened. You think you are too good for the family business? Is that it? Mom tried a softer approach, but her words cut just as deep. We need you here, Leaf. Just for a few years. Then you can go to college. You are young. Education is not going anywhere. Just for a few years. Those words echoed in my head. Few years. What about my admission? I cannot just defer for years. They will not hold my spot. I will have to reapply. Start over. Dad shrugged. You can reapply later. Plenty of people take gap years. This is important. Family is important. I felt my chest tightening. Okay, what about financial support then? If I go, now can you help with tuition? Even partial help? Silence filled the kitchen. Mom looked down. Dad looked away. Then Mom shook her head slowly. We cannot afford it, honey. Every dollar we have is tied up in the cafe. We are barely breaking even as it is. I glanced toward the living room. Harper sat on the couch pretending to watch TV, but I knew she could hear everything. She was 12. She did not work at the cafe. She had piano lessons, dance classes, after-school activities. But I had been working since I was 12. The difference was stark. Painful. So you want me to give up my dream to serve coffee? The words came out harsher than I meant them to. Dad stood up. His chair scraped against the floor. We are not asking, Leaf. We are telling you. Family comes first. You are part of this family and we need you. The answer is no. No college, not now. Maybe later, but not now. He walked out of the kitchen. Mom stayed seated, looking at me with something like pity. I am sorry, honey, but this is how it has to be. I went to my room that night and sat on my bed. The acceptance letter lay on my desk, the words blurring as tears filled my eyes. They were not proud of me. They did not care that I got into a good school. They only saw me as free labor, a body to fill shifts, a solution to their staffing problem. That night I realized something that hurt more than their refusal. They had never really seen me at all. I declined the offer from University of Washington. Those words in the email were some of the hardest I ever typed. Thank you for the acceptance, but I must decline at this time. I started working full-time at Miller's Morning Brew, 6 days a week. I woke up at 5 in the morning. We opened at 6. I made coffee, built sandwiches, served regulars who knew my name and asked about school. I lied and said I was taking a gap year, exploring options. Nobody needed to know the truth. My friends left for college that fall. My social media feeds filled with dorm room photos, campus tours, new friendships. Everyone was moving forward, starting new chapters. And I was stuck in the same place I had been since I was 12. Pulling espresso shots and wiping down counters. I tried to keep learning. I bought coding books. I watched online tutorials at night. But after 10-hour shifts, I could barely keep my eyes open. My dream was slipping away day by day. Harper, meanwhile, did not touch the cafe. She was 12 now, but she did not have to work weekends like I did at that age. Mom and Dad said she was too young. She needed to focus on school. She had piano recitals, dance performances. She joined the debate team. My parents bragged about her to customers. "Did you hear Harper won first place at her debate competition?" They never mentioned that I had gotten into University of Washington. That achievement vanished like it never happened. One evening, I asked Mom why Harper did not help out, even just a few hours on weekends. Mom looked at me like I had suggested something ridiculous. "She is not as strong as you, Leaf. Besides, she has her activities. She needs to build her college applications." I almost laughed. College applications. The irony was not lost on me. Harper would get to go to college, I could see it already, but I had to sacrifice my future for the family business. 2 years crawled by. I turned 20. My friends were halfway through college talking about internships and study abroad programs. I was still at the cafe, still waking up at 5, still going through the same motions. Then, one evening, my parents called me into the kitchen after closing. They had serious expressions. "We need to talk about something important." Dad spread out some papers on the table. "Renovation plans for the cafe. We want to update the space. New equipment, better layout, fresh paint, modern furniture. It will cost about $25,000, but it will bring in more customers. Better revenue." Mom smiled like this was good news. "We will need you to work more hours, Leaf. Maybe take evening shifts too. We need to save every dollar we can." I stared at them. More hours. "Mom, I am already working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, 60 hours a week. I barely have time to sleep." Dad's voice turned firm. "This is temporary. Once the renovation is done, business will be better. Everything will get easier." I felt something inside me crack. And then what? When will it be my turn? When can I go to college? When do I get to have a life? Silence. Mom avoided my eyes. Dad shuffled the papers. Mom finally spoke, her voice quiet. "We will see, honey. Let us get through this first. One thing at a time." But I understood. There would never be my turn. There would always be another crisis, another renovation, another reason to keep me there. They would never let me go. Not willingly. I was too useful, too reliable, too trapped. 3 days later, I made my decision. I had been saving tips and the small wages my parents paid me. $5,000 total. Not much, but enough to start. One morning, before we opened the cafe, I stood in that same kitchen where they had crushed my dreams 2 years earlier. I looked at my parents and said the words I had been rehearsing in my head for weeks. "I am leaving. I am moving to Seattle. I will find work and apply to community college." Dad's face turned red instantly. "You are abandoning us. After everything we have done for you. Everything you have done." I felt anger rise in my throat. "You took away my future. You used me for 2 years. I was free labor. That is all I ever was to you." Mom started crying. "How can you be so selfish? What about the cafe? What about family?" I looked straight at her. "You never cared about my dreams. You only cared about having someone to work the morning shift." Harper appeared at the bottom of the stairs. She was 14 now. Her eyes were wide. She heard everything. Dad stood up his chair, scraping loud against the floor. "If you walk out that door, do not expect anything from us. Not a single dollar. You're on your own." I picked up my backpack. I'd packed it the night before. Clothes, laptop, $5,000 in a bank account. I looked at my father and felt a strange calm settle over me. "I've been on my own for 2 years already. You just did not notice." I turned toward the door. Mom called after me. "Leif, please, do not do this. You're making a huge mistake." But I kept walking. I walked out of Miller's Morning Brew at 6:15 in the morning on June 19th. The air was cool. The street was quiet. I did not look back. My heart ached. My hands shook. But I also felt lighter than I had in 2 years. For the first time since I was 18, I was choosing my own path. Seattle welcomed me with rain and uncertainty. I found a room in a shared apartment. $350 a month. The room was tiny, just enough space for a twin bed and a small desk. 3 other people lived there. We shared one bathroom, but it was mine. My space, my choice. I got a job at a grocery store working night shifts. $12 an hour, 35 hours a week. It was not much, but it covered rent and food. I enrolled at Seattle Central College, community college. Not the prestigious university I had dreamed of, but it was a start. I took basic classes. Math, English, introduction to programming. I lived on instant noodles and peanut butter sandwiches. I learned to make 1 rotisserie chicken last 5 days. I walked everywhere to save bus fare. I did not have health insurance. I did not have a safety net. Every dollar had to be carefully managed. But I was learning. I was moving forward. And that felt like everything. In my Introduction to Programming class, I met Professor David Harris. He was in his 50s with gray hair and kind eyes. He noticed that I asked good questions, that I stayed after class to discuss algorithms. One day, he pulled me aside. "You have got talent, Leaf. Real talent. Have you thought about transferring to a 4-year school?" I told him my story. Not all of it, but enough. He listened without judgment. Then he told me about a scholarship program for transfer students. He helped me with my application. I applied and got a partial scholarship. It covered about 40% of tuition. Professor Harris also connected me with a job in the campus IT department. $18 an hour. Better pay. Flexible hours around my classes. For the first time in 3 years, I felt like life was moving in the right direction. I spent 2 years at community college. I worked hard, studied harder. My grades were solid, 3.6 GPA. Not perfect, but good, considering I was working 30 hours a week. When I applied to transfer to University of Washington, my hands shook just like they had when I was 18. But this time was different. This time, I was doing it on my own terms, with my own money, my own effort. The acceptance email came on a Wednesday afternoon. I was at work when I saw it. I had to step into the bathroom to read it because I could not hold back tears. "We are pleased to welcome you." I had done it. 4 years late, taking the long road. But I had done it. I was going to the school I had dreamed about since I was 17, and I was paying for it myself. Every single dollar. The next 2 years were brutal. I worked 2 part-time jobs, IT support and tutoring. I took full course loads. I studied algorithm software development database systems. I slept 4, sometimes 5 hours a night. I lived on coffee and willpower. But I loved it. Every exhausting minute of it. Because it was mine. Nobody could take it away from me. Nobody could tell me I could not do it. I graduated at 26 years old. 4 years behind my original timeline. But when I walked across that stage and received my diploma, I felt a pride so deep it almost hurt. I had earned this. Not through luck, not through family money, through pure determination and sacrifice. My roommate came to the ceremony. Professor Harris came. But my parents were not there. I had not spoken to them in 3 years, and that was okay. I did not need their approval anymore. I applied to tech companies all over Seattle. I went to interviews. I got rejections. I kept trying. Then, CloudSync, a growing startup, gave me an offer. Junior software engineer. $75,000 a year. I sat in the coffee shop where I received the email and just stared at the number. $75,000. I remembered making $9 an hour at the cafe. This felt impossible, like a dream. But it was real. My first day at CloudSync, I sat at my desk with a brand new laptop. My own workspace. My own projects. I was building software. Real software that real people would use. I was living the dream I had imagined when I was 18. Just 8 years late. But I had made it. I worked hard at CloudSync. I learned fast. I stayed late. I took on extra projects. After 2 years, I got promoted to mid-level engineer. $95,000. A year after that, senior engineer, $120,000. I bought a small apartment. Nothing fancy but mine. I got a used Honda Civic. Reliable transportation. I started saving money, building an emergency fund, contributing to a 401k. I had a safety net now. I started dating. I made friends. I had a life outside of work. I went hiking on weekends. I took a vacation to Hawaii. Small things that felt huge because I had earned them myself. When I turned 30, CloudSync went public. The company had an IPO. My stock options, the ones I had been holding for years, became worth $250,000. I sat in my apartment looking at my brokerage account and could not believe it. $250,000. From a kid who left home with $5,000 and a backpack. I had done what my parents said was impossible. I had succeeded without them, without their help, without their permission. Then, on a Thursday afternoon in October, my phone rang. Portland area code. I almost did not answer, but something made me pick up. Hello, it is Mom. 3 years of silence shattered by 2 words. Her voice sounded strained, forced, casual. How are you, honey? We have not heard from you in so long. I did not respond to the question. I waited, because I knew this was not a social call. She made small talk for another minute, asked about the weather. Then she got to it. Harper is getting married. Is that not wonderful? I kept my voice neutral. That is good for her. Mom continued her words, speeding up slightly. She is marrying a wonderful young man named Tyler. They want a beautiful wedding. They have been planning it for months. Silence. I waited for what I knew was coming. The thing is, honey weddings are expensive. We have been saving, but it is not enough. We need help. How much I asked, my voice flat. $135,000 for the venue, catering, flowers, the dress, everything. Harper deserves a dream wedding. She only gets married once. We want it to be perfect. I held the phone, my hand steady, my mind clear. They had not called in 3 years. Not once. No birthday calls, no checking to see if I was alive. Nothing. And now they needed money. I took a deep breath. The anger I expected to feel did not come. Instead, I felt calm. Eerily calm. Mom, do you remember what you and Dad told me when I was 18? She hesitated. What do you mean? When I asked for help with college tuition. When I showed you my acceptance letter. What did you say? Silence on the other end. I could hear her breathing. I continued. You said you could not afford a single dollar. You said family comes first, but family meant the cafe, not my education, not my future, not my dreams. Leaf, that was different. We were struggling then. The cafe needed help. Was I not family then? Did I not deserve support? I worked for you for 2 years. 60 hours a week. You paid me less than minimum wage. You took my dreams and crushed them so you could save money on labor. And you think I'm going to give you $135,000 for a wedding? Mom's voice cracked. We did not know it was so hard for you. We thought you understood. I laughed, a short, bitter sound. You did not know because you never asked. You never called, not once in 3 years. But now Harper needs money and suddenly I am family again. Suddenly you remember I exist. That is not how family works. Mom, you taught me that lesson really well. Dad's voice came through the phone now. He must have picked up another handset. You ungrateful brat. After we raised you, after we gave you a home and food and everything you needed, everything I needed except support when it actually mattered, everything except belief in my potential, everything except a chance at the future I wanted. You did not raise me to succeed, Dad. You raised me to serve you. There is a big difference. Mom was crying now. Please, Leaf. Harper is your sister. She has always looked up to you. She deserves a nice wedding. Then she can work for it like I worked for my education. Or you can take out a loan. Or she can have a smaller wedding. There are plenty of options. But I am not one of them. You made that clear when I was 18, when you told me college could wait, when you told me the cafe was more important than my future. I am just applying the same logic you taught me." Dad's voice rose. "How can you be so cruel, so heartless? We are your parents. And I was your son. Did that matter when I needed help? When I was eating ramen for dinner every night because I could barely afford food, when I was working 2 jobs and going to school full-time, did you call to check on me then? Did you care?" Silence. The kind of silence that answers everything. I kept going, my voice steady. "You taught me a valuable lesson. You taught me that I have to look out for myself, that nobody else will. So here is my answer. No. Not a single dollar. Harper can pay for her own wedding. She can get a loan. She can have a smaller celebration. She can do what millions of other people do and make it work within her budget. But I worked too hard for my money to hand it over to people who did not believe in me when I needed them most." Mom sobbed. "How can you do this? How can you turn your back on family?" I almost laughed again. "I did not turn my back on family. You did that 8 years ago, when you chose a cafe over your son's education. I am just returning the favor. Goodbye, Mom. Do not call again unless it is to apologize for what you did. And I mean really apologize. Not just asking for money with an apology attached." I hung up. My hand trembled slightly, but inside I felt something release. A weight I had been carrying for years. The guilt of leaving. The wondering if I had been selfish. All of it lifted. I had stood up for myself. I had set a boundary. And it felt right. 2 weeks later, I got an email from Harper. "I heard what happened. I do not blame you. I'm sorry for how they treated you. I did not know the whole story until now. I'm having a smaller wedding, something we can afford. Tyler and I do not need some huge, expensive celebration. We just want to be married. I hope you are doing well. You deserve all the success you have earned." I read the email 3 times. Harper was not my enemy. She had been a kid when all this happened. She had been the favored child, yes, but she did not ask for that. She was growing up, learning, seeing things clearly now. I wrote back, "Congratulations on your wedding. I wish you and Tyler all the happiness in the world. You deserve it. Thank you for understanding. It means more than you know. My parents called twice more over the next month. I did not answer. They sent text messages. I blocked the numbers. I was done. I had given them 8 years of silence to think about what they had done. They had wasted that time. That was on them, not me. I focused on my life. I met a woman named Emma through mutual friends. We started dating. She knew about my past. She did not judge me for cutting off my parents. She understood that some relationships are toxic, even family ones. We talked about building a life together. About what family should actually mean. Support, belief, mutual respect, not obligation, not guilt, not using each other. Looking back now, I do not regret my decision. Not for a second. My parents taught me something valuable even if they did not mean to. They taught me that I am responsible for my own life, that nobody owes me anything and I do not owe anyone something they would not give me. Reciprocity is the foundation of family, not blood, not history. If they would not support me when I needed it most, I have no obligation to support them now. I built my life from zero. Every dollar I have I earned through my own sweat and sacrifice. Nobody gave it to me.